Looking back at 2014, Vietnam's retail market has witnessed certain growth and become a fascinating segment of the real estate market. This market has attracted foreign investment through merger and acquisition activities like Burley Joker Group, BJC from Thailand acquired Metro and Family Mart. Lotte from South Korea launched a series of commercial centers and supermarkets. The domestic market also witnessed fierce competition from local businesses such as Vincom acquired Ocean Mart. According to market research of real estate consulting firms such as CBRE, Savills, Cushman and Wakefield, the two major cities, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, have gained an impressive growth in 2014 when the average occupancy and average rental increased from 1 to 3% on a quarterly basis.
Hello, you're watching Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10. Today we will have a small talk with Mr. James Hawkey, Managing Director, Retail Service of Cushman and Wakefield Asia Pacific, to discuss more about the opportunity of retail market in Vietnam. Hi Mr. James, nice to have you here today.
My pleasure, nice to meet you.
How many times have you been here to Vietnam, and what can you say about the changes in Vietnam's real estate sector?
This is my third time now in Vietnam, and I can see a lot of change and a lot of progress in the market, and I think in particular 2015 is going to be an exciting year for the Vietnam retail market. The middle class consumers are emerging, new retailers are coming into the market, so it will be an exciting period of development.
As the person in charge of global rental segment of Cushman and Wakefield, what is your assessment on the difference between Vietnam real estate segment and other countries?
Well, we work in a lot of countries across the globe. So Vietnam is one of the key emerging markets in Asia. So in that way, it's the patterns of development are similar to China, India, Indonesia, markets like that. Vietnam now, the stage of development is slightly behind where China is, and China's gone through a period of very rapid development. And it's a similar stage of development to countries like Indonesia, Philippines, India, and it's ahead in terms of stage of development compared to countries like Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos. So it's certainly an interesting period of development.
In your opinion, what are the favorable conditions or difficulties in this segment?
Any retail market is based on consumers, and Vietnam has a population of 90 million or almost 90 million, and the middle class segment of that population is rapidly emerging. So that's a great advantage for any retail economy. In terms of negatives, any emerging market has some negatives, and often, as is the case in Vietnam, infrastructure is a bit of a challenge. So road networks need improvement, and also in Ho Chi Minh, I'm very pleased to see the development of the metro system. That will be a major development for a major advantage for any retail market once it's completed.
Vietnam retail market is among the most exciting markets in Asia Pacific. Ho Chi Minh City retail increased sharply in Q3 of 2014. Explosion of investment wave in the retail market in Asia Pacific. Big Asian investors prefer Vietnam's retail market. Vietnam retail market attractive piece of cake. These are positive comments on Vietnam's retail market from many prestigious organizations in the moment and in the future. The article stated per capita income in Vietnam is growing every year, so goods and services consumption increases more and more, making retail market in Vietnam become attractive to investors. According to forecast of Vietnam retail market in 2014 by A.T. Kearney, USA, Vietnam's retail market is full of attraction by market size and number of consumers. With about 90 million people and only 638 supermarkets and 120 commercial centers and more than 1,000 convenience stores, this figure is said to be failing to meet the needs of the people. According to the research by Savills Vietnam, in Q4 2014, there were 8 new projects in retail market with a total area of 60,000 square meters. Thus, the total supply of retail space in Hanoi increased by 22% over the same period in 2013, and in the first quarter of 2015, it is expected that there will be 14 projects with over 360,000 square meters added to the market. While in Ho Chi Minh City by the end of Q3, the total supply of retail space stood at 851,000 square meters. According to Cushman and Wakefield's report, as the commercial supply increases, the competition will be fierce in this segment. This analysis also indicates the reasons that Asian investors prefer investing in retail stores in Vietnam for legal aspects. Specifically, Vietnam will fully open the retail market in January 2015 under the provisions of the WTO. Besides, according to the Agreement on Trade in Goods among ASEAN, Vietnam has reduced import tariffs from ASEAN countries to 0% for 10,000 taxable goods.
So currently, the rental fee in Vietnam is considered higher than other cities in the region like Bangkok, Mumbai, or Manila. So does it reduce the competitiveness of Vietnam? And what can you say about that?
I'm not sure that that's true. In the end, rentals in any market are related to how much is being sold. If retailers are selling a lot, they can afford to pay higher rentals. If they're selling not very much, they can't afford to pay very high rentals. So in any market where there's a normal balance of retail supply and demand, and right now I see Vietnam as a relatively healthy balance of supply and demand, then rentals will essentially be a function of the level of sales that retailers are achieving. So I don't see any problem there at all for Vietnam. And the more the retail market develops, the higher rentals will move. So it's completely related to the sales being achieved in the market.
As we may know, when joining WTO, foreign enterprises in Vietnam will have the chance to have 100% of capitals here in Vietnam. And how can you say about that? Is that a chance?
I think it's great. It's great for Vietnam. It's good for the foreign companies. Especially, it's very good for the Vietnamese consumer. The Vietnamese consumer will have access to a much wider range of goods, whether it's goods in supermarkets or the range of supermarkets available, or fashion. So it's great for the consumer to have more competition in the Vietnamese market. For the Vietnamese retailers, it will cause them some challenges in the next couple of years with more foreign competition in the market. But it will also be a catalyst for those Vietnamese retailers to improve what they do and become more competitive. So in the longer term, it's a very good thing for the Vietnamese consumer and the Vietnamese economy.
Currently in Vietnam, the street shops are overshadowed by department stores. And is that continue to go through in the near future? Can you tell me your opinion about that?
I think in Vietnam there's a role for street shops, there's a role for department stores, and there's a role for shopping centres. So it's all about what the consumer needs. In the end, they need several things. Consumers like convenience, so they like to be able to stop outside a store and pop in for a coffee or to do something quickly. That's the advantage of street shops. Shopping centres, on the other hand, they provide a bigger environment, a nice air-conditioned environment, which is important in this hot climate in Vietnam. And also they're a clean and comfortable place to spend 2 or 3 hours, and where you can eat, you can buy things, you can also go to the cinema. So shopping centres offer a much more comprehensive experience. Street shops offer a very quick and easy, convenient experience. So I think there's a good role for both all types of retail as the Vietnam retail market develops.
So can you please tell me your expectation in the retail market in Vietnam and between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh cities? Which do you think will have the higher growth?
I think in emerging markets, and we've seen this in many countries around the world, in China, in Brazil, in Mexico, and now in India and Indonesia, the trends at the early stages of development are for the biggest cities to grow the fastest. So at this period, we'd expect Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi both to experience fast growth. And then over time, growth in the biggest cities may slow slightly, and then the second tier cities will have their opportunity to grow fast. So cities like Da Nang will also have their opportunity in a few years' time.
Thank you very much for your sharing.
Thank you very much.
Our show is now coming to an end. Any comments or feedbacks, please email us at sharingvietnam@netvietv.net. Goodbye and see you again.